Welcome, Kate. Thank you so much for joining us today to represent Best Buddies Russia and celebrate Autism Awareness Month with us. We'd love to know about your nonprofit. How is it dedicated to establish a global volunteer movement that creates opportunities for one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, and leadership development for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities? So, just to get started, I would love to know so we have more and more clarity on this topic on how is autism different from other chronic diseases, and if you could just simply break down the meaning of autism for people who don't understand it.
Okay, to begin with, I would say that autism can be called like a really hard disease, as for me and as for my colleagues. This is certainly a developmental disorder, and however, autism allows you to live quite peacefully and be a really full member of society. In Russia, due to such, they are not deprived of legal capacity, and this means that a person can work, they can make friends, and they can live independently. So autism differs from chronic disease in that it affects the human perception of the environment. It is often more difficult for people with autism to get in touch with other people, and such people have a problem with imagination. This means that their behavior can be called somewhat stereotypical. People with autism can fixate on something, so it's not as I say, really a hard disease. It's just another type of mind.
That's actually a very interesting way to put it. It's not a disease or a problem. It's just how different a person is. And it seems new to us because we haven't seen it, or some of us haven't seen it. So that's a very interesting way to put it, actually. And now I want to understand that, was there a particular reason that you started working for Best Buddies, and what encouraged you to first join and also continue working here?
But when I was at school, it was a few years ago, and there I have experience, yes, with connection with people with disability, and it was very interesting for me. So I just decide to connect my life with them, because it's I think it's very good thing to do, and it's very interesting for me, for other people who connecting with me, and I think our task is very important for something more than just living life like that. It's strange maybe, but
it does make sense, and it's very noble of you to do something so meaningful for a long period of time. I'm sure that there are other things, other responsibilities that you have in your daily life, and to take your time out every single day to do something for the greater good takes consistent motivation, and it's commendable that you do that. So congratulations.
thank you.
The next question that I have for you is, in your experience in working at Best Buddies, what role do you think parents play in the diagnosis of autism, and is there a right way that parents should deal with it?
I can only say that parents should be more attentive to their children. They should spend more time with them, and just understand that it's not again hard, strong diagnosis. It's just another type of living. So thank you.
What are some myths related to autism and that people with autism face, And if you just like to shed some light on that.
As you say, our organization supports people with development and intellectual disabilities, and it works according to the 3 programs. Firstly, we help people with disabilities to find a job. By the way, this is not a job in an inclusion workshop, because there all employers are also people with disabilities, and it's not means inclusion. So we help to find a job on the open market, where you need to interact in a team with people without disabilities, and our members working now in Burger King, in Nike, in Ernst & Young, and etc. In Russia. In addition, we help people with autism to, and not totally, because we work not only with people with autism, to find friends. We select a volunteer for each participant to make it more comfortable for both of them to communicate. And we also have an independent living program. During the trainings, participants learn how to for example, cook for their own, how to keep their budget if they work, for example, and how to take responsibility for themselves. So that's what we did, and that's how we trying to help them.
So I wanted to know, like, apart from these non-profits and these bodies working for a particular cause, how can a normal person outside of these bodies contribute towards the autistic world and towards these autistic people?
In Russia, unfortunately, inclusion is developing very slowly. Therefore, people with autism are treated with kind of misunderstanding. Someone may consider that they're stupid sometimes. Someone thinks that nothing can be entrusted to them. Most employers in Russia do not even consider hiring employers with disabilities. But our charitable foundation contracts PR campaigns that's aimed at for education society to be more kind.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. And I really hope that this changes in the near future with initiatives and non-profits like Best Buddies. And with that, I'd just like to ask you, Kate, if there is a message that you'd like to leave for people in Russia and also globally on how they can help or contribute towards this cause, and just to encourage them to take that first step and volunteer for Best Buddies or donate for Best Buddies.
No, for example, the easy way is to donate money to our foundation, but and other organization, of course, that support people with autism. But as for me and as for my colleagues, the most important thing is volunteering and communication. After all, if we do not ignore people with disabilities, they won't be isolated from society, and our volunteers get invaluable experience in communication with people with disabilities. After all, people with autism also have interesting, and they also have feelings as normal people. And they can just share their interesting just really amazingly. For example, one of our participants loves the trains and he very loves subway very much. He can take a tour of it, tell when which station was built, and so on. In their interest, people with autism are very sincere, and so you just want to listen to them. Communication with such people allows you to look at the world in a new way. So it's really interesting for our volunteers and other people if they just trying to participate to us.
I really true. And I hope that you get all the volunteers and support that you are doing, and not just this month because it's Autism Awareness Month, but throughout the year and next. And all the very best to you, Kate. And I really hope that you're able to help and uplift as many folks as possible. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was great talking to you.
Thank you very much.